My name is Mike Celestino. I'm with laughingplace.com and the Who's the Boss podcast. And it's so great to meet you, Dee.
Hello, hello.
Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
So before we get into Nubs, I very quickly want to congratulate you on wrapping up the Bad Batch. Really big fan of that show.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, was it challenging creating and maintaining so many unique roles for that show, or has that kind of thing become a breeze to you as a voiceover performer?
Well, because we had already gone through setting up those characters and kind of nailing down who they were um, at the end of the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch felt like old friends by the time that we started the series. They clarified and kind of locked in after a few episodes even further. I felt in terms of their individual uh, performance and the specificity of each character. But yeah, by the time that spaceship launched, we were pretty confident and just kind of burned right through it. It was wonderful fun. It was the ride of a lifetime.
Absolutely agreed. So, getting into Young Jedi Adventures, kind of springboarding off of that, how does a role like Nubs compare to what you had to do with the Clone Troopers as a performer?
Well, Nubs, as well as the clone troopers, they exist within a moral universe. Star Wars has always been a very moral universe about what's right, what's wrong, uh, dealing with personal challenge, overcoming obstacles, and redemption. And all of these things are in play, really, no matter whether you're a grown up or a parent or a child. And so it feels very much of the same galaxy as the more grown up versions of Star Wars, if you will, of what is playing out in Young Jedi, which is it's a safer little oasis of an arena where these questions of what do I do with my superpowers, how do I find my way in the universe, how do I overcome my own the own obstacles that I have, or the challenges that I have, or the growth that I'm still waiting to meet. Um, these are all things that feel a part of the same universe that's always been Star Wars for me.
Great. So, we're getting into season 2 of Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures.
Mhm.
What's going on for Nubs this time around?
Well, the gang continues to kind of expand their powers and expand their collaborative dynamic in the universe. There's new characters coming your way. There's new alien creatures, which I'm very excited about, and it the adventure continues. It's you know, Star Wars has a wonderful way of just getting better and better because you're not confined to a single planet.
Yeah.
You can move around to different planets. You can bring in all these different characters, and with all of these different species that have already been established, and you can also come up with new ones. So there's there's great opportunity which they take advantage of with this show beautifully to bring in fresh characters, fresh ideas, fresh aliens, and fresh fun.
What about the lessons that kids are walking away from Young Jedi Adventures with? You've got a whole new generation of Star Wars fans coming into the show. What do you think the morals are coming out of, in general, coming out of Young Jedi Adventures?
Well, Young Jedi, I think, teaches kids to be confident, to have fun, to rely upon each other. These are all things that everybody wants a kid to be considering and looking at. You know, that you view the universe as an adventure and not as a threatening thing, and that you can rely upon yourself and rely upon your own powers and your own thoughtfulness and the collaborative assistance of family and friends to get you through what's coming at you, and that it's an optimistic project that is fun and that is offers a lot of variety as you learn and grow.
Fantastic. I want to ask you about the planet. You talked about the different planets in Star Wars. There's a specific planet called Batu that it is derived from the Disney parks from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that
Mhm.
the Young Jedi Adventures characters have visited a few times. I'm curious if you've spent any time at the Disney parks and have gotten to visit Galaxy's Edge and what you thought of that experience, if so.
Oh, I love being at Galaxy's Edge. I mean, it feels like you're in Star Wars. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I built a lightsaber. Yeah, I've done those rides a number of times. It's quite impressive, and man, I wish it were twice as big. I wish it had more cantinas. I wish there were more. I mean, I just want more of it. I loved it. I think it's great.
That's great. Going back a little bit, I wonder if you could talk about kind of your origins in Young Jedi Adventures. Obviously, you've been part of the Star Wars family for a while now, but can you talk about how you got involved with this show from the beginning?
Well, at the start, I, I can't remember if I auditioned or not, but they know that I do the weird stuff, as I say, and they know I'm good with Star Wars and I'm good to work with, and that creatures and non-English speaking utterances are my wheelhouse. And so they threw this little guy to me and said, "What do you think? What's this going to sound like?" And I start throwing out some ideas, and they very quickly start saying, "Yeah, yeah, that's it. We like that." And then we're off to the races. So it's rather quick. I mean, I'm kind of a ready to go specialist with an orchestra of possibilities that I bring vocally, and we can just kind of massage that very quickly into something that feels right and that works efficiently, and we can integrate it right into the story effortlessly and invisibly. And we're the spaceship is launched. We're off to the races, as they say.
I've gotten to see you do some live performances, live readings of scripts from the Bad Batch at conventions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
We've got D23 Expo coming up this week. Can you talk a little bit about what you enjoy about going to conventions and getting to talk about Star Wars in front of fans and meet Star Wars fans in that way?
Well, the most wonderful thing about a Star Wars convention for me is not what I get to do, but for what the fans get to express to me. It's wonderful to see everybody from little kids, but also up into teenagers, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. You get all flavors of fans of all ages come by and express how much they love the characters and the stories that I help to tell. That's my favorite part of it. It's fun to get up on stage and show off a little bit and to do the magic trick of reading the different characters one after the other and all of that. But the greatest joy is to be present for a fan's enthusiasm and just to get a quick moment of a hello and the appreciation for what we make and to hear what it meant to them. And sometimes, I mean, they'll bring me like a little tribute, or they make a work of art or a painting or a sculpture or something that they bring to me, and all of that's wonderful to be part of their connection to these stories. That they're not just entertainment. I think they are that, definitely. They are entertainment, but they're more than that. These are stories and characters that connect to people. And it's wonderful as a voice actor to be able to see that at a convention firsthand and to experience that. Because, you know, I started my journey in acting doing stage work, you know, musicals and plays, and then later stand up and improv, sketch comedy, children's theater, shows at Disney World. Even I worked at Disney World doing shows, but with that you have an audience, you have a
Right.
live audience to connect with, and as a voice actor, especially now, you don't have that other than the people that you're working with, mostly on Zoom, to direct you into your isolated performance, which is usually not an ensemble record. We don't; those are rarely done, um, occasionally, but not very often. And so it's wonderful to have that connection to the audience when you go to a convention.
Great. Well, that's my time. I want to thank you so much, Dee. I really
My
enjoy all your
pleasure.
performances over the years
Thank
and
you.
can't wait to see more Young Jedi Adventures. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
What'd you find, Nubs? That's a Jedi who was a Poobah, just like you. The Poobah's also in these pictures. They tell a story about a ferocious creature threatening a town until the brave Poobah arrived and drove it away, saving everyone. Nubs! What's in here?
You're right, Nubs. I bet it's the same lightsaber that Stone Pooba was holding. Let's ask Master Yoda.